What is going on, guys? No More Wide back here again. This video is more just kind of like a little update on what's going on with the B swap into this thing. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So yeah, as you saw in the last video, I got this guy dropped into there. It was quite the challenge. I forget how tight it is in these engine bays. Because man, I haven't worked, like I said, I haven't worked on one of these in a long time. I've done a lot of these swaps, I just haven't worked on a Honda since like 2008. So yeah, but got it in there, got most stuff hooked up already. I was able to reuse some of the coolant lines, which is good. Like this coolant line here, right here on the side of the head, I was able to use the other heater line there. I got the fuel line hooked up. Got the old throttle cable pulled out. Got the shorter Integra one on there. You know, I've just got everything hooked up. Man, I had to beat the life out of this frame rail right here to get, you know, this whole mechanism to clear. I forgot. Maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to change this or go to like a maybe a traction bar or something like that. It should give me a little bit more room, I hope. Fingers crossed. Also had to trim a lot just to get this B series power steering stuff to work. You can see I had to trim out some of this headlight bucket, and it's close. Like it's in there basically. But that custom line I had made fits perfectly, so stoked about that. Haven't really got anything else done yet, but pretty much physically it's in there. I don't think it has to come out for any other reason. I hope it doesn't have to come out because it was kind of a struggle to get it in there. But yeah, haven't really done anything else. Still need to put the axles in and whatnot, but everything else is pretty much together as far as the engine is, you know, physically concerned. I do have to change out the shift linkages still, and I did get the gauge cluster back in there. I didn't put the center surround back in. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot to tell you. Got the Speedo cable guide down in there, so it's in there now. Like I said, I'm gonna try that one first and hopefully it works. I don't know if the gear is long enough or tall enough to reach. Only thing I have left to do now really is just wiring. So about the wiring, I could go into detail about what you need to do with the wiring, but I mean, like I said, people have been doing this swap for years, so there's not really much. I mean, there's nothing new that I'm going to tell you that you probably can't just Google already or look at wiring diagrams, but pretty much you're going to use your existing EF harness, like the harness that came in this car is the one you're going to want to use. You could also go and find an SI harness and try and use that, but honestly it's harder to do that than it is to just add the 4 wires you need for the injectors on here, and then you just got to change the throttle position sensor wires around. You just got to flip those around, and then you just got to extend some other wires. But obviously all this is going to vary depending on what OBD engine you're using. Like for me, I'm using the OBD2A engine. So if you look at this motor, or excuse me, if you look at my wiring harness I got here, so this wiring harness right here is the harness that came with this motor. So if I kind of lay these out, you know, kind of together, let me lay them out somewhat so you can see what's going on here. So if I lay these out, this is pretty much how it sits on the motor. You have this side that's connected to the shock towers I showed you in the other video. This little guy goes off into the fuse box. And then you have these the injector harness here for the 4 injectors. And obviously you can tell on this original harness there is no injector harness. So basically all you're adding is injectors, because there's only 2 on this harness and you need to add 2 more. So some of the wiring is already here, some of it's not. Most people just run 4 new wires from the ECU out into the engine bay, but I'm gonna try my best to keep this as stock looking as possible, because that's just what I like to do. And I don't like when there's a bunch of random wires just running, you know, all over the place. It just looks terrible. So in reality, it'd be fantastic to just be able to use this harness since it plugs into all the sensors already. However, the trouble with that is these shock tower connectors, for obvious reasons, are very different than these. So just use your stock EF harness because this already plugs into the chassis and everything is there. I've already started working on this a little bit. I fixed that starter wire like I told you in the other one. I remember I messed the starter wire up, so I got that guy fixed. And then I went on ahead and added in this reverse switch. And so really the only differences you'll have to do with this is add in an injector harness. This big black plug right here on the back of the D series motor is the fan switch. However, on the new motor, the fan switch is on this side. So you just pretty much have to take that and extend it over here. A lot of these other plugs though, they'll plug right into the B series that's already there. The only other plug I'm gonna have to modify is the alternator plug, because obviously you can see the alternator plug on this guy, this is the OBD0 plug. I'll have to switch it to this style plug. I know they look similar, but this one's more squared up, whereas this one is completely round. Most of the time, it's just a matter of matching wire colors for wire colors. So pretty much all I've been doing is cutting off the connectors I need from the donor harness and just splicing them onto my existing harness. And then I'll just have to extend a few wires out. I'm trying to think of the only other difference. Oh yeah, the other difference with this is on these cars, the map sensors are, you know, right here sitting on the firewall, and this is a map sensor plug, and this is for the evap purge solenoid. I don't know why they decided to put them on here, whereas on the new motors, the map sensor is here instead of on the firewall, and the purge solenoid is here instead of on the firewall. So these are easy enough, just cut them, extend them, get them to this spot, and that's pretty much it. As far as everything else is concerned, I mean, everything else is hooked up. I got the fuel return line hooked up as well. I got the alternator down in there barely with enough room. I still have to get a belt for it, and I still have to get a belt for the power steering. Like I said earlier, when I first started the swap, I am going to be running air conditioning, but now I am very worried about space. I don't know if it's going to hit this cross member or not, but I'm probably going to end up just rocking the Haspor AC bracket and then just using my stock D series compressor to make all that stuff work. But it's cold right now, obviously everywhere, because winter time's coming up, so I'm not really too worried about it as of now. And I mean, I can run down the wiring, but I'm not going to bore you guys with all that, because I mean, really, who likes to do wiring anyways? That'll probably just be it for this video. It's just a quick little update on what's going on with the car, just to keep you guys informed on what's going on. That way you pretty much are along the lines, timeline wise, of where I'm at. So yeah, I guess if you have any comments, just drop them in the comment section below. Again, I appreciate you guys checking out this channel and just showing me some love. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.